besides public relations, promotion, and advertising. As the head of the Press and Publications Department at the National Carrier Gulf, a seasoned politician with an impressive career graph, a people's person who understands the pulse of the community. With us tonight on the National Day special episode of Success Statements from BMC Global Live, it is the first Deputy Speaker of Bahrain Parliament, Abdulnabi Salman. Good evening, Mr. Salman. Welcome to the show.
Good evening. Thank you very much for having me.
Happy National Day in advance.
Same to you. Thank you very much.
It's an honor to have you with us this evening, especially when we mark a special episode to celebrate the country's National Day.
Yeah.
And in this chat, we look forward to hearing from you a little more than your political dialogues.
That's okay. Feel free.
Well, congratulations first on your victory, once again back to the Parliament, and also to be elected as the first Deputy Speaker of the Parliament. How do you feel?
I feel so good, and at the same time I feel it's kind of big responsibility once again. And as you know, that to have joined the Parliament since 2002, this is my third term now, and I'm really enjoying it. It is a big of responsibility, and at the same time it is a kind of national mission for me, and I'm trying to achieve as much as I can for this country and for its people. And I hope I can do that together with my colleagues.
Right. And talking about the elections, you got yourself a massive vote bank, about 4,000 votes, isn't it?
Yes.
Something big. And you just used the word responsibility.
Yes.
You are highly responsible to the community. How do you look at the seriousness of this role in the present day scenario? As you said, you've been there 3 terms.
Yes.
And the country is growing, progressing in all aspects.
Yeah.
The democratic rally is on. How do you find this responsibility heavying down? What are the changes that you see from them now?
It is really a heavy responsibility, but maybe I got used to this after these years. And you know, it's in a country like Bahrain, it's not an easy job to do that, because the people ambition is too big, and the expected is sometimes little. And this makes it a kind of big challenge for us. Not only for me as an MP, but also for the government itself, because the government itself, they are having a lot of responsibility, financial issues. With recent COVID-19 issue also, it makes it even difficult. But certainly with the presence of His Highness Sheikh Salman bin Hamad, the Crown Prince, our Prime Minister, I think we can do a lot for this country with the leadership of His Majesty the King. I think this country can go ahead and go forward even much better. And I think we can help in that matter. And with the feeling that I have got so far from my colleagues, new colleagues, I think all of them are interested in making a kind of change for this country and for its people. Everyone knows that it is a big challenge for all of us, and even the government itself, they feel that it is a big challenge for the country, a country in the middle of the Gulf with all this responsibility and all also this kind of difficulties financially, economically, and even socially sometimes. I think the government is trying to overcome all these issues in a very short time. They are trying, and we are trying with them. And we are really looking forward to see the kind of changes that we can, all of us can make it happen really for this country. People are expecting a lot from us, and we should really attend for that in a certain way, that we don't have to create a kind of conflicts all the time, rather than making a kind of compromise and consensus between all parties in order to help the country, because the country is in a position to get together again, once again, and trying again to achieve its goals. And we will definitely work on that in the near future with the government, as we did before.
A parliamentarian is a bridge between the government and people, isn't it? And you use the word, the ambitions of the people are very high. They really feel that you can do a lot, especially in a country like Bahrain, a small country where the accessibility, you are a family man for people in Ali who elected you, isn't it? So they have a lot of expectations. How do you overcome this challenge?
Maybe I'm proud to say that I managed to make that because of the confidence of the people. The people, they have a lot of confidence in me, not only in my constituency in Ali, but in all over Bahrain. I'm not trying to say
yes, now you belong to everyone. It's not only for people.
I'm lucky enough to present everyone almost in Bahrain, and I'm happy to say that because serving people is a kind of responsibility, first of all, and it's a kind of a privilege at the same time. And anyone in this position should really attend to his responsibility in the right manner, and at the same time, and should take it a very, very highly responsible. And I think we can do a lot because we are optimistic enough for this country and its people. As I have said before, that the people are looking, they are looking really for bigger issues. Like unemployment, for housing issues, financial issues, social issues. And as you know, in every single country, these issues are so big for every single government in the world. And knowing the kind of challenges that we are facing in this country and in this region as a whole, with all these problems all around us in the region, I think our government and our even MPs and our people, they are in a position now to understand how important in getting together once again and trying to do something for the future, not only for the present, because we are not responsible only for the present, we are responsible for the future, and our future generations are looking forward for us to help them and to start some kind of small steps in order to achieve bigger steps in the future.
Indeed, indeed. Yeah. You just mentioned the common problems which is global, which every people expect from their elected representatives to address, like unemployment or subsidies, the tax, etc., etc. So you've been in the parliament for 3 terms now. and you've seen these demands, the public demands.
Yeah.
How do you prioritize on what to address? Which is the nerve? Like, how do you pick on which to address?
Once you live in the middle of the people, I think you know that's what's your priorities. We are living in the middle of the people. We are living among the people. Everywhere you can see us, not only in our constituencies, but also in all different cities and villages. And we know these kind of issues is not certainly for one village or one city. It's for all Bahrain. And when I talk about unemployment, as an example, it is a big issue for everyone in this country.
Yes.
And we are trying with the government to sort it out in a better way for our people, our young generation, to find themselves helping their countries, helping their future, at the same time building their own lives. Having this in mind, I think we should be able to prioritize our responsibilities. And when I say housing, when I say unemployment, when I say medical issues, when I say education, these are the top topics for us. We should try to concentrate as much as we can on it. And I think even the government is in a position to understand why we are insisting on those issues. Because for all of us, including the government, it is an issue, not only socially, but also politically. You know what I mean? So everyone should take it responsible.
Yes.
And when we talk about the future, we should be really, we should stand strong enough to defend that future, the future of our kids, and the future of our country. If we want to live in peace, we should really concentrate on the present and the future, not to try to be selfish for ourselves. Yeah.
And I'm curious to know, what do you think made you win this time? What do you think was your strong point in the last term, which made you so popular?
It's the people, because they love me enough.
Yeah, why do they love you?
Well, I cannot explain that, but maybe because I am one of them. I am always with them. I'm always defending them, and that's enough for me.
What's your promise to the larger public now, assuming the seat once again for the next 4 years?
My promise is that this term will be different. And I think we will be able to achieve a lot this time.
Great.
The situations financially, economically are really helpful at this time. If you compare ourselves, what we are now and comparing with 2 years back,
Yes.
the situation is completely different with COVID-19's issue. Everything was stopped almost. Even in your studio here, I think, closed down. Every single shop closed down because of the COVID-19. Now the country is opened, and everyone trying to return what they have lost in the past few years. And also the future is waiting for all of us.
Indeed.
And this is why we have to work together. Seriously, we have to take this issue. We don't have to work with the same soul and behavior like we did before COVID-19. It is a change that we are looking forward together with the government and with our people. The change will be for the country and for the people as well. This is why we have to take it serious. It's not a matter of making money. It's a matter of making the future.
Yes, we shall overcome.
Yes, we shall overcome, yes.
That is a very optimistic message from the parliamentarian Abdulnabi Salman, who is with us on Success Statements from BMC Global Live. Let's take a short break. Welcome back to Success Statements from BMC Global Live, and with me is MP Abdulnabi Salman. Mr. Salman, you were a five-band trade union leader to begin with, early days with the Gulf Air.
Yes.
And from then on, you were seen as the face of one of the major political societies in the kingdom.
Yes.
And then as a parliamentarian. Politics is with you. What did you want to be as a child? What was your ambition?
Well, I have started thinking about politics, first of all, since I was 14.
Okay.
I was in the intermediate school. Mm-hmm. At that time, it was 1973, I think. And
your age.
Yes. And, 1973 for us, all of us here in the region, was very important.
Yes.
And because October 1973 was the war between Arab and Israel. Mm-hmm. And since then, I have started thinking about politics and how it affects our life and our economies and our countries and the region. And since then, I engaged in the politics issue, and I'm enjoying it, by the way. There is nothing wrong with it. But I think, you're going back to your question. I think, so once I'm thinking about why I'm taking this politics as part of my life, as a major part of my life, is maybe because it became now in my blood. And later on, when I became, as you have said just now, in the trade union, Gulf Air, I started thinking about people, mostly, and start thinking about how people are really hurt in their jobs, in their life, and start thinking seriously how I can help. Maybe just like any other normal.
You did not really have a profession in mind which you wanted to be?
No. To be frank, I don't have it as a profession. Right. Maybe until now I'm not taking it as a profession, but it came by itself.
Yes.
And then of course, I have joined since the National Charter in Bahrain in 2002, and His Majesty the King opened up the country politically, and as you know, the that's when the societies, the political society, have been formed, and used to be parties before. And of course, I became, after some time, Secretary General for one of the major political society in Bahrain. And since then, I have taken...
Progressive Democratic Tribune.
Yes. And of course, I have taken that responsibility mostly in in the age of 40s. And of course, with the help of my colleagues and my comrades, I became, taking more and more responsibility in that political society. And I became a writer later on in one of the local newspapers here in Bahrain. Maybe you know that. And I became a well-known figure, I think, somehow. And things like this became, throw a lot of responsibilities on myself to be part of the first parliament in Bahrain in 2002.
Interesting.
And I have been in the parliament for between 2002 and until 2006. And of course, maybe my role was so important. I think maybe this is what I felt, and I tackled a lot of very important issues, things like GOSI issues, retirement issues, financial issues, budget issues, political issues, naturalization issues, things like this. These are so important in Bahrain in 2002, and I think until this moment they are so important. And since then I have engaged myself in those issues and more than that. And of course I'm trying to defend laborers and workers in their fields as part of my political thoughts and principles. And until this moment, I'm defending that kind of rights for the people. And of course, the human rights issue is part of, very important part of that. And I just find myself in this field, and I cannot just ignore it from my life. It's became, for me, as blood, in my blood.
I think your success lies there because you are part of it.
Yes.
And you feel it
I think
from
so.
within.
Yeah.
Do you have a role model?
Tell you frankly, I don't have a role model as such, but it depends on the certain age and certain, timing. In my early times, I think Mahatma Gandhi was my role.
Okay.
Later on, maybe Nelson Mandela became another important role for me. Maybe both of them, they have created important part of my life and behavior sometimes, even towards people, towards issues, towards political issues, and towards the country itself, because I have read a lot about them. And I lived in India for maybe 4 years, and I became very close to what Mahatma Gandhi was thinking about his country and how he tackled all those difficult issues in his time, and how the Indians, they feel Mahatma Gandhi until this moment as their important and their legend leader. And maybe, of course, Nelson Mandela himself. I've been to South Africa, and I have seen by my eyes that how important Nelson Mandela was for his country, and how he helped his country and his people to achieve all the apartheid issues. Things like this, I think, like these models have created a lot of thoughts and values in myself. Of course, beside other leaders in the world and other important figures in the region also, and even in Bahrain.
Mm-hmm. Right. You said you took to writing. What are your hobbies? Do you still write?
I have different hobbies, but of course sport is my first hobbies. And of course I love music and reading, definitely, as almost everybody did.
Right. What sport do you fancy?
Football.
Football,
yeah.
Who do you think would make it to the World Cup this year?
I hope Morocco this time.
Okay. Let's hope so.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Although I'm Brazilian.
Okay, unfortunately. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
So you are from Ali, right?
Yes, I'm from
You still live
Ali.
in Ali.
Yeah.
What are your reflections about Ali?
Ali is a very historic place.
Indeed, yeah.
And it used to be a village, now it's become a city actually. And it's became very, very big so far, because
Ali is important for Bahrain.
It's very important for Bahrain.
Mounds,
yes.
pottery, isn't it?
Yes, it is for tourism.
Yes.
But unfortunately, they are not making a real use of that area until this moment. Maybe it is a kind of message I want to send to the Ministry of Tourism, that they have to take care of that, because it is part of the history of Bahrain and part of the history of the region. If you read about Ali itself, Ali is really important in the history of the human being, not only for Bahrain, because if you can just go and read about Ali and its history, you will find out that's how this region had been created and why it has became important years after years. And this is why I am proud to be from Ali, and proud that I will still live in Ali.
Yeah, I still remember Ali Pottery Village was a place where every visitor was taken to.
Yes.
But unfortunately, I don't see that anymore, that vibrant, except for one small slot, isn't it?
Yeah, it used to be Ali. It used to be very big. Since we used to be, when we were kids, I think Ali was too small. But these areas so big, surrounding Ali, and until even Hamid Town. These areas are all called Ali almost, and historically it is really important for the region and for Bahrain. And Bahrain used to be called Awal before, and yeah, and of course this important area should be taken care of by the government.
I hope the tourism minister takes heed of your word, and with your support, let's see Ali blooming.
Yeah.
That was Ali's very own Abdulnabi Salman with us on Success Statements. Let's take a short break. Welcome back to Success Statements from BMC Global Live, and with me is the parliamentarian Abdulnabi Salman. You just mentioned about Gandhi, and let me take you to India.
Yes.
You have roots there.
Yes.
You are an alumnus of Bangalore University,
Yes.
if I'm not mistaken,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Tell us about your connections with India, your thoughts about India and Indians.
Well, until this moment, I treat India as my second home.
Beautiful.
I would love to go back again and see
Okay.
my old places and old friends.
Okay.
I hope they are still still there. I think I lived in India about 4 years. It is the best 4 years in my life, the most beautiful years in my life, because I was at a different age, and I was so young at that time. A lot of friendship between India and Indians and Bahrainis. And at that time, Bangalore was having at least 300 Bahrainis, or more or less. And close to us that Pune was very close to us, and we go between Bangalore and Pune by train, the old train in India. I hope it's still there. And we have in Pune itself only, we used to have more than 600 Bahrainis at that time.
Okay.
Beside that, also we have people in Bombay and Delhi and Jabalpur and different places. So we've been to all these places, and even to Simla and some other places, beautiful places. So India is really a continent.
Okay.
Yeah. And I can't tell you that I have visited all the cities, but it is quite an important city. The Indian peoples are really very welcoming people, very friendly, and I found them really very close to the Bahrainis and their behaviors, their values, their principles in life. And maybe this is why I liked India.
Okay.
Because of its people and because it's a so beautiful country.
Have you been to Kerala?
Where?
Kerala.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
I've been to Kerala. I love it.
Okay.
I really love it. I've been only for a few days, but I really love it. I would love to go back again.
You're
Same
welcome
place.
anytime.
Yeah.
And though you're a people's representative of the citizens, but still, you're representing a country that has a large population of expatriates.
Yes.
What is your message to the expatriates? So where do you place your commitment to that part of the population as a parliamentarian?
Well, let me tell you frankly that the Bahrainis in general, not only myself, we have no problem with the expats. We are welcoming. We love the expats in our country. Maybe some issues in the recent years have pressed on all of us, whether we, the Bahrainis, or the Indian, or the expats themselves. The economical issues change the mood of the people, change the kind of the behavior of the both sides, the expats and the Bahrainis. Bahrain became more crowded now, and you know, the kind of services we are getting in hospitals and airports and the market became too congested so for all of us. So maybe this is why we didn't get used to this until this moment, and this is why we feel, if you compare ourselves now with Bahrain in the 70s, where I lived at that time, it is quite different. So different between now and before.
Indeed.
So Bahrain has really changed 120, 180 degrees from before. And this doesn't mean that we have any problem with the expats. We are still welcoming the expats to our country. We love to see the expats in our country. We think that expats, they are part of our achievements in this country. We are very proud to have them here as friends, and you know, especially from countries like India and other, you know, as you know, India for itself, they are having commercial and business relationship with Bahrain since
Ages.
maybe 100 years until this moment. There were Bahrainis who lived in India and died in India with their families until this moment. I knew some families, Bahraini families, they used to study, I mean their kids, they used to study with us in the university, and they are, until this moment, they are still there in India. They are Bahraini. So we are mixing enough with the Indians and with other expats, so we don't have any problem with the expats. Well, it's only the kind of problems, the issues that we are facing in this country now, economically, socially, because it's pressing on all of us. And this is happening everywhere, not only in Bahrain.
And it's a matter of priority, isn't it?
Yes, it's not, it doesn't mean that the Bahrainis, they hate expats. Of course we don't hate expats. Don't forget that we are living in an island, and usually, as they say, the islands people usually they are welcoming
people.
And especially Bahrainis, they are most welcoming
No doubt about it.
for the expats. I'm not saying because I'm Bahraini, but you can see that in their eyes and their behaviors and their you can see them in the road every day, and you can see the Bahraini, and every single one comes to Bahrain, whether he's an Arab or expats or Indian or American or whatever. He would love to see and stay in Bahrain as much as he can. And this shows you that how important for us as people of Bahrain to see ourselves in the eyes of the others.
Right. Bahrain is definitely beautiful,
Yeah.
and so are its people.
Yeah.
And that's the testament, because most of the expats that you come across are living here for decades.
Yes.
This is home to us. As you said, India is second home to you.
Yes.
Bahrain is second home to
Sure.
each one of
Sure.
us. And we're just a day away from
Yeah.
Bahrain celebrating the National Day.
Yes.
It's a joyous occasion for all of us.
Yeah.
What is your message on this very special day?
Well, my message is to the people of Bahrain that we must celebrate our National Day with a lot of optimism, with a lot of joy and happiness, because this country deserves that we, all of us, live happily and united at the same time, and we should work together. And I think my second message to the government and to the leadership, who are always listening to us so carefully. This country needs all of us, needs our leadership to keep going, I mean, together with the people, getting closer and closer, years after years, because we have tried before, since the National Charter until this moment. If the people who lived in Bahrain during the National Charter Day, they are still remember those good, beautiful days for Bahrainis, for the expats who lived in that time. And they saw how beautiful this country is with its people and its leadership when they cooperate together. I'm really serious to say that we are looking for much and more kind of cooperation between the people and the leadership. The leadership from its side, they are having responsibility for taking this country forward. And I know they are willing always to do the best they can for this country. And the people of Bahrain, they are, as I have said in the beginning, they are very ambitious.
Yes.
And they know that they can live a very easy life, but they want to live as a human being. And they knew that in a country like Bahrain, to live as a human being, there is a kind of leadership who is listening to us. and at the same time, they are willing to take us with them to the future.
Yes.
So let's work together, the people and the leadership,
Together.
to take this country forward.
Yes, I join you to congratulate the royal leadership and the people of Bahrain and the expatriates. A very happy National Day.
Yeah.
Any future goals in life?
Well, my future is to see this country in a better place.
Okay.
And my future to see my people living more happily. My future to see that kind of cooperation between the leadership and the people of Bahrain getting more and more stronger. My future hobby actually is that to see this region more and more stable.
Indeed.
We are having enough problems in this region, and it's time to get relaxed and
so that people
to see
get
yes,
peaceful life.
exactly.
Indeed.
Every single one in this region is willing to see the region is more stable and prosperous.
Let's hope 2023 rings in this message.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for joining us. Can I have your wrapping comments?
Well, I would like to say thank you very much, Raji, for your interview, for having me in this episode. It's very important to have this kind of episode in the National Day events. And I think you are always following this kind of important events to show how much you love Bahrain and Bahrainis. And I really appreciate the way you are doing it, since you are friend since for about 10 years or more than that. I know how do you feel about Bahrain and Bahrainis. I really thank you very much. And I thank also BMC for having me tonight. And I hope and I wish all the success for you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Politics is an art, and this man does it with style. The public mandate which brought him back to the council is a testament to this. That was the first Deputy Speaker of Bahrain Parliament, Abdulnabi Salman, with us on Success Statements from BMC Global Live. Wishing you all a very happy National Day until we meet next week with yet another guest. This is Raji Unnikrishnan. you, Mr. Salman, for joining us. We have a small token of appreciation, a memento from Team BMC. To present the memento, I call upon the Chairman and Managing Director, Mr. Francis Kaidarat, and also with some visitors today, the representatives of Flowers TV India, with a veteran film director and producer, Baiju Kotarakara.
The exclusive franchisee of Cochin Kala Bhavan in Bahrain, with over a decade of existence in Bahrain. Exclusive online regular classes have started for classical dances, music vocal, instrumental music, cinematic dance, Kathak, Zumba body fitness, karate and yoga, drawing, arts and craft, children's theatre. For more information, please call 3909 6845 3909 4806 3885 2397 or visit www.bahrainmediacity.com.